Hi, my name is Allie, and if you didn't know, a while ago, wrote a book. And this book was called Moonlight, and it was a multi-fandom fan fiction. And it had Supernatural, The Vampire Diaries, um, Teen Wolf, a bunch of other, supernaturally kind of TV shows. There was bits and pieces from the Heathers movie. There was bits and pieces from Harry Potter. It was just a super fandom book. Now, ha ha ha. Um, hmm. I decided that for I don't know, some reason, I would make an audiobook. And I'm really lazy, so I didn't want to sign up to Spotify or anything like that. And I'm like, where can I post audio of me reading my own writing? And I was like, oh, YouTube's. So I'm going to, out loud, read this to you for your entertainment. Warning, I did start this book when I was 14, so it's a little cringy at points. It's got some good characters and some funny fucking dialogue at points, but it's a thing. It's a thing that I wrote. So let's jump into it. Moonlight, a multi-fandom fanfiction. Chapter 1, A Welcome to Beacon Hills. I look out the window, boredly drawing patterns on my folder, watching as small air funnels form on the ground outside, picking up leaves. I dazedly sit in the plastic chair. Last night's shotgun to the head was drastically reducing my ability to take proper notes. If I was lucky, I'd die of boredom, but learning of highly poisonous chemicals could also be useful. I sneakily take the vial of blackish poison, supposedly strong enough to kill an elephant with a single drop. In one swift motion, I down the entire vial's contents. My vision darkens, and I smile. I may have done it. I hear my head hit the table rather than feel it. Selena Martinez to the principal's office, says sweet old Mrs. Layton over the loudspeaker, and my eyes open abruptly. Shit! I frustratedly comply, sliding my things into my bag and standing. I walk down the linoleum corridor and quietly enter the front office, seeing two overtly tall men standing in the doorway. Hello, my name is Dean. This is Sam, the one with the short hair says, and I nod slowly. It has come to our attention that you've died at least 60 times in the past 3 months. Dane raises an eyebrow, and my breath catches in my throat. Yeah, about that. I trail off, and abruptly turn on my heel, running into the hallway. I duck into an empty classroom and jump out of the window. My ankles break from the 4-story fall. I wait a few seconds before running into a random direction. I look around, noticing the abundance of greenery, trekking towards anywhere but wherever those two men are. I walked for a week straight. Being immortal meant I couldn't die of exhaustion or exertion. I eventually approach a burnt-down looking house. I breathe out, taking notice of my surroundings. Luckily enough, no one seems to be around. I enter the house, finding a decent couch. I sit down, pulling out my cell phone. I notice it's off. I press the button and immediately it powers on. I check the signal, finding there is none. I groan, putting my phone in my back pocket. I pull out my survival kit, retrieving my Kevlar blanket. I lay down, quickly losing consciousness. I wake early the next morning, trekking into the small town. I charge my laptop, sitting outside of a diner and hacking into the local high school's mainframe. adding a bullshit story of a new student, Demetria Koppel, age 15, birth date 5/18/1999. I transfer from Birmingham, Alabama. I make a few trips to a Halloween store and a drugstore, as well as a Hot Topic. Stealing is wrong and whatever, but what is anyone going to do about it? Kill me? I wish. By the time I'm done, my naturally blonde hair is purple, my eyes are green instead of blue. My new wardrobe is so different from my previous disguise. It'd be nearly impossible for someone to recognize me. I added a small fake nose ring for good measure, as well as a pair of snake bites. They have to be fake, because otherwise they'd just be pushed out and rejected by my body. Stupid healing, stupid immortality. I see a silver Porsche speeding like a maniac down the main street, paying no mind to traffic laws as it swerves into the middle of the street. I jump in front of it, and it crashes into me, hard. My body flies backwards several feet before smashing me into the diner store front window. I cough. A piece of glass is lodged in my lung. I stand, angrily yanking the glass out. It heals instantly. Motherfuck. The driver of the vehicle steps out, a terrified look on his face. How the hell are you not dead? He screams, running to my side. I clap my hands, breathing deeply. I push him. He falls to the ground, and I am quick to steal his car. I set off towards the house I'd found, speeding much faster than the boy who previously owned this car. I sigh, entering the house and assessing the surroundings. A television sits in the living room, while wires all hooked up and ready to watch, only missing electricity. I wandered down to the basement of the home, finding a large power cell. Rechargeable, luckily enough. I yank the pull string on the thing and it lets out a whirring sound before the light bulb above my head turns on. I trek back upstairs, past the living room, and instead move straight to the master bedroom. I enter the room, flipping on the small box television and putting my new clothes away in the closet. And, in other news, a statewide search has been started for 17-year-old Selena Martinez today, as she has allegedly been abducted by two men from Hilbert High School of the Arts in San Francisco. If you recognize any of these three, please call. I flip the channel over, my stomach turning. I'm on the news. Well, not me. Selena Martinez, a girl that never actually existed. First, I was Brittany Holt. Then I was Eliza George, Yolanda Canny, Haley Marks. I was those girls. And now, I'll be Demetria Koppel, daughter of Finnegan Koppel, semi-truck driver, and deceased Helena Koppel. Luckily enough, I have been working on my southern accent. My real name? My birth name? Virginia Dare. I am roughly 300 years old, give or take a few centuries. It all started with my entire village being wiped out by a mysterious disease. 2 years passed. I lived off the preserved food in the houses in my village. I was only around 5 when it all ran out. I didn't eat anything for a week, and I passed out. When I awoke, I was in the tent of a great shaman. He taught me the ways of the other world, and I later learned that he had performed a spell on me to bring me back to life. And now, I was on the run from two men who I knew were of other world. I could feel a demonic force looming over the taller one. They were probably here. Sorry. They were probably here to learn how to be immortal. I had no fear of them killing me. In fact, I welcomed it. However, I could not allow my power to fall in the hands of the fallen. As long as I have to deal with eternity, I'd rather not have to share time with a couple of dickhead demons. I remember a small creek a few kilometers away from the house, and I decide that it's time to bathe. I grab no clothes. Who needs them? And make my way to the creek. Sorry, Wattpad is being stupid today. How you enjoying it so far? You liking yourself? You having fun? We doing the stuffs and the things? Okay, back to the story. I grab no clothes. Who needs them? And make my way to the creek. I make it to the water just as the sun dives past the evergreens. I undress quickly and slip into the freezing cold water. I smile to myself. Perhaps hypothermia will do the trick. It seems so simple, a simple solution to a complicated problem. In any case, I quickly slip into oblivion, my head slipping under the water. I awake on the bank of the creek. My memory escaping me as it often does after hours without oxygen. Maybe it was days? Who knows? I look up at the canopy of evergreen trees, sighing frustratedly. The cold hair nips at my naked skin and I sit up. Ma'am, are you okay? Asks an unfamiliar voice. And I look up to see a policeman. His eyes show kindness. He has salt and pepper hair. His name tag reads Stilinski. I'm fine, I say, truthfully, standing. What are you doing naked in the forest? He asks, an eyebrow raised. I'm not sure, I say truthfully. He nods, dazedly. Dad, seriously, can't we just talk about naked girl? A teenage boy shouts, his jaw dropping. I tilt my head slightly. Styles, get back to the damn house, the policeman demands. His voice, I presume, is supposed to sound forceful, but instead sounds supremely frustrated. Okay, do you have a name? He asks, looking at me expectantly. Demetria Koppel? I reply, and he nods, shrugging off his jacket and handing it to me. I pull it on and zip it. He pulls out his phone, dialing a number. Parrish, search any records of a girl named Demetria Koppel, he orders and sighs. All right, call me when you get something. Here. He faced the phone towards me and a camera shutter sounds, along with a flash of light. See if the description matches any missing persons, he says quietly, and presses the screen once more, presumably hanging up. All right, follow me, he says carefully, turning towards the more sparsely scattered trees and walking away. I am not a missing person, officer. In fact, I do believe I am a found person, I say, following him. Not missing to me, Demetria, to your parents, Stilinski responds, not turning to look at me. My parents know where I am. They're just not here. My father is Finnegan Koppel, a truck driver. He's rarely home. My mother is deceased, I say, and he stops, turning towards me. How old are you? He asks, and I shrug. 15, I say. Strange. I've never heard a 15-year-old talk the way you do. He says, fuck. Busted. Play it cool, Demetria. I am very mature for my age, I shrug, and he seems to buy it. If he hadn't just seen you naked, I'd suggest you go hang out with my son sometime, he says, and we finally approach his police car. It took less than 10 minutes to get to the sheriff's office. A blue Jeep sat in the parking lot next to the car. This seemed to somehow agitate the officer. Stilinski showed me inside and led me to the waiting room. Hi, I'm Styles, says the pale boy from before, putting out his hand. Demetria. My friends call me Demi, I introduce, shaking his much larger hand. Styles, I thought I told you to go home, Stilinski fumes, and Styles blushes. You know, Dad, we're both here so much I'd like to think this place is home, don't you? Styles laughs awkwardly. Stilinski grits his jaw and looks past us. Look, keep an eye on Demetria while I go talk to Parrish. I've got half a dead body and a whole naked teenage girl on my hands, and the last thing I need is a missing son," says Stilinski, leaving the room. Stiles takes a seat, as do I. "What was that about a half a dead body?" I ask curiously, and curiosity and jealousy filling me. "That's why my dad was out in the forest in the first place. Someone found half a dead body out there. They were looking for the second half." "And what were you doing out there?" I ask, an eyebrow raised. I get curious, he shrugs. "And I know, curiosity killed the cat. That's not the whole saying, by the way. Curiosity killed the cat, sure, but what people forget to mention is that satisfaction brought it back." Stiles grins wide, and I bite my lip. "So that's what's wrong with me. I am too satisfied at the feeling of oblivion." "Well, where are you staying exactly?" Stiles' honey brown eyes stare deep into my faux green ones. "I've got a place. In the woods." His eyes widen. "Great. Hottest girl in the town since Lydia Martin actually knows my name and lives in the cabin in the woods. If I didn't know any better, I'd think this was a bad fan fiction." He sighs, and I laugh. "Maybe then we'll die when it ends," I smirk, and he laughs. "Nah, there's always a possibility of a sequel," he shrugs. The sheriff enters the room once more, and Stiles and I both stand. "Your father is not answering his phone, and I checked on the place you were supposed to be staying. The address is in an abandoned house that burned down 7 years ago." Stilinski pinches the bridge of his nose. He seems genuinely concerned for my well-being. Cute. "Well, Dad's currently driving across the Alaskan tundra, and there's no cell reception up there. He'll be unreachable for around 3 months. As for my accommodations, I'm afraid I have none. My father failed to secure a proper location." I feign disappointment. "You could stay with us," Stiles says, and I repress a smirk. "Stiles, I don't think that's... Dad, come on, she has nowhere to stay. I couldn't intrude," I murmur, and Stilinski sighs. "All right, fine, but she stays in your room and you stay in mine. Last thing I need is you two canoodling." "Really, Dad? Canoodling? Who says that?" The next morning, I awaken in the teenage boy's room. Far before the sheriff and his son do the same, I run back to the burned house, grab my belongings, and drive back, being sure to park the stolen vehicle a few blocks away from the sheriff's home. I quickly get ready and even make breakfast for the two males, sitting at the kitchen island and sipping coffee while reading the morning paper as I hear the two trampling down the stairs. "I hope you don't mind. I made breakfast." I gesture to the pancakes, bacon, eggs, and coffee. The sheriff starts, but Stiles cuts him off. "Dad, please, can we keep her?" Stiles then proceeds to stuff his face. "Thinking about it," the sheriff laughs, grabbing a piece of bacon and a cup of black coffee. He checks his watch, frowning. "I've got to get down to the station. Stiles, can I trust you to get yourself and Demetria to school?" The sheriff's eyebrows scrunch together. "Have I ever steered you wrong?" Stiles asks, his eyes as big as saucers. The sheriff's jaw twitches, but nevertheless he leaves soon thereafter. "You ready?" Stiles asks after he finishes the 6th pancake in a row. I nod, and we both leave the house. And enter Stiles' beat-up, pale blue Jeep. Stiles and I wait under some trees as a tanned boy approaches. He looks confused as he sees me, but introduces himself anyways. "Hi, I'm Scott," he says, and I grin. "I'm Demetria. My friends call me Demi." I introduce, and Stiles scoffs. "My dad found her naked in the forest last night," Stiles says, and Scott's eyebrow raises. "Lucky you. All I got was a huge gash on my side." "Okay, let's see this thing." "Ooh." Stiles grits his teeth in empathy as Scott raises his shirt to reveal a large bite. "That needs stitches," I comment, boredly watching his leaves fall around us. "Yeah, whoa. It was too dark to see much, but I'm pretty sure it was a wolf." Scott yanks his hoodie back down and adjusts the bag on his shoulder. They continue on their conversation, and my eyes lock with the boy I carjacked yesterday. I wander over to him. "Hey, handsome," I smirk as he grits his teeth. "I still don't understand how you're not dead, but for the record, if my car had gotten so much as a scratch, you would be." He growls, and I laugh, trailing a hand down his chest. Standing on my tiptoes and leaning into his ear. "I should have totaled the damn thing then," I whisper, kissing his cheek, leaving a dark purple lip print on his sculpted cheekbone. "Dammy," Styles calls, and I sigh. "To be continued," I smirk, walking away. "What the hell? Why'd you just kiss Jackson? He's a huge dick!" Styles nearly shouts, and I shrug. "I just like fucking with people," I murmur, and Scott stifles a laugh. "Yeah, but Scott has totally dragged me down into his nerd depths. I've been scarlet nerded by you, man." Styles sighs. We enter the building, and Styles shows me the main office, where a brunette girl is also trying to get her schedule and locker number. "You girls can wait at the picnic table outside if you want. But you, Mr. Stilinski, you get to class." The elderly woman behind the desk scowls at Styles. "He must have a bad reputation." "You're new too, huh?" the girl asks, a shy smile on her face. I nod, and she grins. "Being new sucks, doesn't it?" I laugh, and she nods. When you've done it so many times, it doesn't seem like it's going to be that bad, but it is," she shrugs. And we both go back outside, sitting at a picnic table. "I'm Demetria, by the way, but my friends call me Demi." I smile, and she does the same. "I'm Allison." "Yeah, I move around a lot too. My dad's a truck driver." "Same." "My dad's a—" She's cut off by a phone ringing. She blushes, taking out her cell. "Ma, 3 calls on my first day is a little overdoing it," she says, sighing it. I look up to see Scott out a window at us, a confused look on his face. "Everything except a pen. Oh my god, I didn't actually forget a pen. Okay, I gotta go. Love ya." Allison finishes off just as a dark-skinned man, who I assume is the principal. "Sorry to keep you waiting," he says, and we both stand. "So, you were saying you move around a lot?" I say, and Allison nods. "We lived in San Francisco for more than a year, which is unusual in my family." She sighs, still looking through her book bag for a pen. I laugh, handing her one. "Well, hopefully Beacon Hills will be your last stop for a while, for the both of you." The principal smiles as we approach the classroom. He opens the door, and I can feel the eyes on my face. "Class, these are our new students, Allison Argent and Demetria Koppel. Please do your best to make them feel welcome," the principal says, and leaves. Allison and I both take our seats, behind Styles, and her behind Scott. Scott turns slightly, handing Allison a pen. "Thanks," she says, a small smile on her face. How the hell did he know? Maybe he reads lips. "We'll begin with Kafka's Metamorphosis on page 133, says the chunky pale man at the front of the class. I open my book and begin the reading. The bell rings, and Alice and I both go find our lockers that are, coincidentally, right next to each other. I open my locker, stuffing books I won't need for homework inside. I notice Allison eyeing up Scott, and he doing the same to her. A red-headed girl approaches, a smile on her pretty face. "That jacket is absolutely killer. Where did you get it?" The redhead first compliments, then questions. "Smart. My mom was a buyer for a boutique back in San Francisco." Allison smiles shyly, and the redhead smiles widely. "And you are my new best friend," she laughs, turning to me. "I love your hair, by the way, and nowhere here has the balls to do something so fashion-forward. She's so damn chipper." I find the urge to roll my eyes instead smile. "How are you kidding? If I had hair like yours, I wouldn't even brush it too harshly. We both laugh, and Jackson approaches. Hey, Jackson. Red grins, and they kiss passionately. My eyes wander over to Scott, where Styles now accompanies him. They are talking to each other. So, there's weekend, there's a party, Red says, smiling. A party? Allison asks. Yeah, Friday night, you guys should come. Jackson seems to all but forgiven me for the stolen car incident. I can't. It's family night this Friday. Thanks for asking. Allison answers, and they turn to look at me. Friday night. Even if I wanted to go, my schedule wouldn't allow it. 4 o'clock, wallow in self-pity. 4:30, stare into the abyss. 5 o'clock, solve world hunger and tell no one. 5:30, jazzercise. 6:30, dinner with me. Can't cancel that again. 7 o'clock, wrestle with my self-loathing. I'm booked. Of course, if I bumped the loathing to 9, I could still be done in time to lay in bed, stare at the ceiling, and slip slowly into madness. But what would I wear? Nah, I'm gonna hang out with Styles. Wherever he goes, I go, you know? I shrug, and Red's eyebrows pull together. Is Styles like your dog or something? She asks, and I laugh. Something like that. Jackson bites his lip. You sure? I mean, everyone's going after the scrimmage. You mean like football? Allison asks, and I internally groan. Figures. Porsche kid is a meathead. Football's a joke in Beacon. The sport here is lacrosse. We've won the state championship for the past 3 years, Jackson says, his voice dripping with pride. Because of a certain team captain, Red says fondly, playing with a piece of Jackson's dirty blonde hair. Well, we have practice in a few minutes. That is, if you guys don't have anywhere else. Jackson is cut off by Allison. Well, I was going to. Allison is then cut off by Red. Perfect. You're coming. She grins, and again, they all turn to me. Styles is on the team, so... Jackson shrugs, and I suppress the urge to slam my head into the locker. I guess I'm coming too. I fake a smile and follow Allison and Red outside. We talk a few excruciating minutes about boys and fashion. I wanted to hang myself. But, you know, been there, done that. I fortunately learned that Red's name is Lydia. We take our spots on the bleachers, staring out at the teenage boys that are all unnaturally attractive. Who is that? Allison asks, looking directly at Scott. Him? I'm not sure who he is. Why? Lydia answers Allison's question with a question. He's in our English class. Allison looks over to me for answers. That's Scott. He's friends with Styles, I say, boredly tapping on my phone. 2 new messages. This is Sam. We're not going to hurt you. They read. I roll my eyes, blocking the number and putting my phone down. Looking up to see a ball fly into Scott's face, knocking him down. Ouch. Hey, way to catch with your face, McCall. Laughs a boy, and I grit my teeth. What an asshole. Scott gets back up and assumes a position. He then proceeds to catch every single ball that flies his way. Allison and Lydia stand, shouting, woo. Styles smiles widely and yells out, That's my friend! So, that was chapter 1 of my book. It's hot garbage, I know, but I hope you guys enjoyed. If you came here from Wattpad, welcome to my YouTube channel. I've had this for a while. I post videos every Tuesday and Thursday, so yeah. Yeah. I hope you guys like this and stuff, and congrats, a 30-minute video. Weird, right? So, leave a like and a comment and a subscribe and all that other stuff. Comment, if you'd like, some stuff you would like to happen in the book, because it's not done yet. I've gotten, like, halfway through it, and there have been multiple, like, instances that could be a climax, but really it's not done. It's probably never going to be done, because it's fan fiction. It can always go on. You can comment your name, and I can put you in the book, and that'd be great. because I only have like 1 or 2 original characters in here. So, yeah. Enjoy all that other stuff, and I will see y'all on Thursday. Adios.